Welcome back, everybody. It's the Journey On show. Once again, the best part of the show was before we started recording. So
feels like it, yeah.
One of these days, we'll have to invite folks in. Maybe we could do a Facebook Live event before we
There
record.
you go.
Yeah, if we get how do the kids do it on the social media? If we get 10,000 likes,
right,
we'll do a Facebook Live. So share this with all
go.
your friends, and what do they call? Smash the like button and subscribe. And yeah, it's
you're up on all the lingo. I'm gonna have to take your word on that.
Yeah, I'm embarrassed that I know that, but
I like the fact.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. You're probably going to say the same thing I was going to say.
What's your fit? Yeah, what are you wearing today?
Well, if I leave this off, we look like twins.
We're pretty close. I think I'm a more orange and you're a more brown, but I think
okay, yeah, this is definitely more brown. But this is when my wife went to Alaska. This is Homer, Alaska, and there was something really neat about Homer, so it inspired her to buy a T-shirt, and it's a skate. I'm sure the people at Homer know what it is. But
it wasn't related to the Simpsons or to
I don't think so. No.
All right.
No, I don't think so. No.
Okay.
It'll
come to you
maybe
eventually.
throw in the comments.
There you go. Perfect. Well, we're here to talk about all things that are happening with our church and our family. Yes. And let's see. So what's recently happened in Fargo? You've got the new location.
Yes.
How's it coming together? If really 100% is you no longer have a checklist in your mind of things that have to be done at the new location, and 0 is before you even knew that there was going to be a new location. So 0 to 100, where would you feel like you're at in Fargo?
Oh, a strong 10%. No, no, we have.
Oh no,
no, we have. How did Amy put it? Amy is kind of in charge of the work nights, we're calling them. And so we've taken our Wednesday night group and turned it into a work stay night or something fancy like that.
Oh, I see how it is.
Together.
Yeah, they get you hooked with the food and the message. And now that we've got you hooked, we need some free labor. So
here's a paintbrush. And so I think this next Wednesday we have probably, half a punch list left, but with 15, 20 people putting an hour or two in, that it goes pretty quick. Last Wednesday we got a lot done. So it really, it since you were there last, or since you've been here last, it really has transformed. And so really cool. Really excited.
Yeah. So, and we'll all have the opportunity to see it October 25th.
That's right.
That's the grand opening. It's the chili cook-off. It's what did we say last week? There's going to be a dunking booth. I don't know how that's going to come together.
Didn't say that. I heard it said. I did not say that.
All right, that's fair enough. So that's and by the way, when you said Amy's in charge of a little bit ago, you said that you could just put a blank after that because Amy is very good at being in charge of things and getting things accomplished. As a matter of fact, I wanted to give her a shout out anyway, so I'm glad you brought that up. Amy made some changes. She came along with you to the Bismarck location on Sunday, and she brought some things that make it look the stage that we have, the front of the back of the stage that we have makes it look a lot more nice. More nice.
It really does.
More nicer. It's very good.
More nicer. Yeah.
Yes.
She had this idea a while ago. Because with our pipe and drape, both locations have the pipe and then the black drape. Very common for a lot of events type things. And it's
Thank you for breaking that down for me. When you said pipe and drape, I was totally confused. But then you said the pipe and then the drapes. No, I wasn't. But thank you for breaking it down in case I was, because there's a good chance that I would have been confused.
Okay. So that stinking pipe always shows through there. Yeah. And I notice it well after the fact. You get there and rehearse and go.
You're not looking behind you very often, so
no, not very often. And then I'll walk up, be walking up to do the work, and then I was like, I got to remember to get some. Well, that bothered her enough, and I think this is her design. She made
it is,
that go over the pipes, and then she cut little holes for the rods to go through, and it makes such a difference. I'm just blown away. And she did that here, and then she said, "We need to do that in Bismarck. I'm coming with you this weekend." I said, yes. And
it doesn't sound like you needed to. It sounded like it was just happening. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, she'll just be in the car and yeah, you're taking me.
Yeah,
No,
and then there's some
and
cool
so
designs on the back that she did, and
yes.
folks
Isn't
helped get
that
everything
cool? It
set
is
up. Yeah,
really.
yeah, it's nice. It's
So,
just a little sparkle, and I appreciate
mhm.
giving a little nice touch. So
Yeah,
I guess the one thing to say on that is if anybody else has ideas,
right.
because we're also talking about some improvements to make for the online presence, and
Yep. Yep.
we're in Bismarck. We're looking for folks to help out with audio and some other tech. And one thing I want to say about that is you don't have to be a geek like me to help
No.
out with tech.
Right.
Because I mean it helps if you've got that ability already. If you're familiar with apps and computer programs and you've done audio video before, you should be guilty for not doing it. I'm not saying that's how it works, but you should be. So
Yeah.
if you're feeling that, but otherwise, even if you don't have the experience,
Yeah.
and you don't need to be there every week either, there are
No.
a lot of folks that if we're a large enough family, if we spread it out a little bit,
Right. That's
if
exactly right.
you're able to help out once a month, maybe a couple times a month, even just to come in and learn it a little bit, because there are
Mhm.
times that we've been stuck with nobody to do something at the last minute. People get sick, schedules change,
Yeah.
and if we just have more people familiar with it, this is my call out to get
Awesome.
folks in Bismarck. And I would assume Fargo is the same. I know I've seen in action that Fargo works great also, just like it does in Bismarck, but we could always use more people helping out in all the areas
Yeah.
for sure.
That and if you were trying to do a transition, and I know you weren't, that would
Mm.
be so perfect into what we're talking
Ooh.
about this weekend.
Oh, so
The
let's do
message
that.
this
You know
week.
what? This is
Want to do
our
that?
show. We can do it in whatever sequence we
Okay.
want. So
All
tell
right.
me about what's coming up this
You got
weekend.
it.
We're talking about I'm a Nazarene. What's that mean, right?
Yep. I'm a Nazarene. So what does that mean? And we talked 2 weeks ago about Christian, being a Christian. What does that mean? Christ-like. Last week was holiness, and I'm sure we'll
We'll
go
come
back
back
to
to
that a
that.
little
Yep.
bit.
Yeah.
And then this week is the third core belief or the third pillar, if you want to call it that, and it's missional.
Mm.
We are missional. And when we think about our mission, you could also say it's our purpose, it's our call as a church, it's our call as Christians. And um, the way I like to see our three core beliefs
Hmm.
is our core beliefs cause us to, or entice us to, or encourage us to know God and make God known. So knowing
Oh,
God,
yeah.
that's becoming Christ-like. Knowing
Hmm.
God. The more we know God, the more we can be like him, which ties you into holiness. When you
Right.
are Christ-like, you are under his blanket of holiness, like we talked about, right?
Hmm.
And righteous and make God known. When we fully understand that, our purpose is to make God known, and that's our mission. So we're missional. We're going to talk about what that all means. I think a lot of times the word mission uh, is one of those words that it automatically constitutes selling everything and moving away to, Nicaragua or Zimbabwe or, and becoming a mission. Well, that is one of the definitions of mission. Missionaries do mission work.
Hmm.
That's but there's a lot, and there's nothing wrong with that, absolutely.
Right.
But there's lots of different ways to be missional.
Hmm.
You can be a missionary in your own city, in your own backyard, in your own block, in your own church, in your own community, so on and so forth. So we're going
Right.
to talk about that, and I'm
I
really
know.
glad you brought that up. It's great.
Yeah, no, me too. I'm glad that worked out. And I know people have different missions based on the talents they have, the lives
Yep.
they've built.
Yep.
We talked last week about the prodigal son, and part of the mission that I have is because of where I've been and where I've come from. I can now have a mission to talk to people in a way that others can't or
Yeah.
wouldn't have the experience with.
Yep.
So that's part of the mission. Uh, Working on the radio for me is a mission because as much as I love talking, it's also something that I can do that helps spread the word, right? That's being in a Christian station. For
Correct.
you, carpentry and the job that you do and the conversations that you have, I
Mhm.
believe that can also our jobs can be mission
Yes, absolutely.
oriented. Yeah, any relationship, any experience that we have.
Right. What I think you're describing, or what I believe you're describing, is what I call a circle of influence.
Hmm.
When you know the
Yeah.
language your group speaks because you're part of, let's say musicians, right? You
Hmm.
and I, we speak musician because we're musicians. So
Right.
we can speak to other musicians in a way that non-musicians maybe couldn't. And we either are influenced or have influence over, with them
Hmm.
because we're part of that group. So a circle of influence.
Yeah.
And you're exactly right. When we speak the same language, we have similar interests. It becomes a place where, because anytime you're going to you're going to give somebody information, the real key is you can tell anybody anything you want.
Hmm. Right.
Do they believe you?
Right. Do they even hear
Right?
you? Yeah.
Or do
You
they
gotta,
hear you? And
yeah,
then
you
if they
gotta
did hear
start
you,
there. Yeah.
yeah. Do they believe you? And
Yeah.
and the way you can kind of get over those first two hurdles, well, if they trust you, if you speak the
Mhm.
same language, if you've had shared experiences, right? That first hurdle is either a lot lower or maybe non-existent. So they're like, okay, well, you and I we're very similar. Well, actually, you and I are very similar. So
Mhm.
when we tell stories, I don't say, "Are you sure?" I mean, if you're telling me,
Wait,
um,
there's always creative license with us, but yeah.
right, right, yeah, yeah.
And it's
But
yes. Go ahead.
oh, just the circle of influence, and
Yeah.
and we need to take advantage of that because that is just like I'm sure you've known, or maybe you have been in the past. When you get a sales job, the
Mm.
first people you try to sell to are the people that trust you, your family, right?
Yeah.
Because they're going to be a little more lenient if you forget things, or and they're probably more apt to buy just to help you out, and so on and so forth.
Mm.
So our circle of influence, not that we're selling something that's difficult to want to buy when if the gospel
Hmm.
speaks for itself, but that
Oh,
making God known, we start with the people, that we love, that have similar interests, and why wouldn't we start there? So
right.
it's
Right.
just yeah, it's fantastic.
And it's a great way to practice, right, with our family that
Exactly.
we have, and then the extended family, and going
Yes.
out. And
Yes.
you mentioned the Gospels, and that's part of why we're called to this, right? It's the Matthew 28, 19, and 20 is
Correct.
the passage to read coming into it, and it's the Great Commission.
Commission.
Yeah,
The Great
which
Commission.
now we're
Yep.
talking about sales again, right? You make Great Commission.
Commission. The Great Commission. Yeah. What do I
Round
get
and
on this one?
round
Yeah.
and round we go. We haven't even talked about food yet. How crazy is that? Oh no, we did talk about the chili cook-off.
We did, we
So
did, but
yeah, if you
wow,
have that, yeah, whoever has the pool, check the timestamp for when we actually talked about food. We should have that in there each week. And
Jim and Carl bingo. It's like, oh,
yeah, the food. Yeah, that's actually the free space in the middle. Food, because
it's
it's
a
guaranteed.
guarantee. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a guarantee.
no, that's happening. All right. So that's that's what's coming up. And I always like to ask. So I would assume you're going to be in Fargo for the
Yep,
message,
yep,
and then will you
yep.
be in Bismarck also? Or are you coming up?
I will.
Oh,
Hmm.
yep. And then I always think back. Yes, he's going to be in the band. Yeah, going to
Yep.
be in the band. I'm guessing maracas this week.
This week maracas, or I thought I'd play maybe the Wiro or the. I have to figure out how to say it. It's a. I
Oh
want to
yeah.
play that sometime.
Yep. Yep.
Yep, that guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
Yep.
Donald
Huh.
Duck. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what that's called. I don't think Euro because now I'm thinking
Well,
about Greek food. Yeah.
well, that's food again. So you're
Yeah.
right. It's something. I'll
Huh.
put that in the comments too.
That's also yeah. Future thoughts by Carl. Future thoughts by Carl.
Yeah, there you
I'm good
go.
enough, smart enough, and doggone it, people like me.
People like me.
Yeah. All right. So, okay, we've talked about what's coming up there. Let's
Yeah.
go back to this last weekend.
Okay.
To be set apart in purity of heart. That
Yeah.
was that was the one of the first things that you talked about in how we're holy. And
Hmm.
this was another subject I struggled a little bit with. We talked some about that. The idea of being holy and setting that aside from being perfect. And I feel much better about where I stand in that. That quote really helped me with that. To be set apart in purity of heart. I love the alliteration. I love the fact that it's a little bit rhymey, and I don't know
Yeah.
if you put that in there specifically for me. I usually assume every week that about 20 to 30%, like this is Jim's message, and then the rest, you guys can listen to the rest of it. But I
Yeah.
appreciate that you do that for me, Carl. That's really
That's about the right percentage. I would say 30.
And then diving in because well, I like all my senses, but I visual. When you talked about seeing the Lord, to perceive,
Yeah.
to know, and this one got this is the get me one. This is the got you one for me
Okay.
to experience. When you say see the Lord, if we put it in terms of experience, because then it's more than just see something that I can't comprehend. That gets
Right.
in my head a lot too when it comes to the idea of what will that be like, and how do I understand what that's like? But to
Sure.
experience, I don't need to see. I'm experiencing. It's beyond what our body is capable of.
Right.
And
Right.
then there
Right.
was
Yeah.
another word that I really liked, consecrate. I liked how you defined it as dedicating,
Dedicating. Yep.
dedicating to God. Because for me, consecrating was this land is consecrated,
Oh,
this
sure.
holy water is consecrated, this thing, that we consecrate things, but to consecrate in terms of my being,
Hmm.
to dedicate to God. That was a new one for me too. So just a couple of word things I wanted to mention to you that I
Yeah.
appreciated how you used. I liked how you used words this week.
Oh,
That was awesome. You should do that every week.
well, I'm gonna try it again this week. And you're a Romans guy. You like Romans,
Oh
and
yeah.
so Romans 12 says, "Offer your bodies as living sacrifice," and that's very similar. The words there are very reminiscent of consecration or
Oh,
dedication. Yeah.
nice. I like that. I'll have to look into that. I love
Yep.
looking at the history. I've got a website that I use that I can click on a word and it points back to the original word that was
Oh,
used.
right,
Oh,
right.
it's
Yeah.
very cool. Yeah, I can really wormhole. Talk about wormholes. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
God wants us to be holy, provides us a way to be holy.
Yeah.
And then you talked about the Holy Spirit. Like, so we're given the tool, which that's such a simple thing and so
Right.
easy to forget.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
because there's a common phrase that God won't allow us to be tempted without giving us the
Beyond what we can
tools.
bear.
Yeah, but there's more to it, right? Because it's not just God protecting us. And this is that simple thing. God gives us the tools.
Yep.
We have to be accepting of them, and we have to be aware of accepting those. I think that's an
Yeah,
important part of
absolutely.
it too. And then the final quote, because I love the quotes. This series, I've loved the quotes that you've had here. God, I don't understand, but I trust you.
Yeah.
That gives me shivers to think about. And that's faith, right? That is
Right.
absolute nothing but faith. I don't understand, and I trust you. That's I want that in every relationship
Yeah.
that I have. So let's keep getting that gap closer and closer to Jesus.
I just had a thought while you were saying that. When my grandkids come over, and you've probably done this when you were younger, and like, I don't know, a parent was in the pool and said, just jump, right?
Mm.
And and if you don't know the person, you're not going to jump. But my grandkids, our thing now, they'll be on a chair or something, and they trust my wife and I so much, they'll say, "Papa, jump." And you're like, "Oh man, where are they?" They're
Oh
ready to
yeah,
go because they
it's a
they
test.
know
Yeah.
if I jump, my grandpa's going to catch me.
Mm.
And I absolutely will do
Right.
everything in my power. We had to have a talk the other night because we have stairs, and Asher's 3, and he was standing at the top of the stairs, and I was midway down, and he goes, "Papa, jump." And I went, "Hold on, buddy, hold
No,
on, hold
yeah,
on." So we had to talk about safety, and
and
he
then
was agreeing. He was very agreeing.
oh, good.
And I was
Yeah,
like, I hope this is getting through. But
yeah. This is
I
first
think,
lesson in physics, kid. Here's
yeah. And
here's why
so
this isn't going to work. Here.
here's the pie chart. And so we're called to have a childlike faith. And I think
Mhm.
that's one of those elements where we're just like, God, I'm jumping. And we know he'll catch. And with God, we don't have to worry whether he's ready or not. He's always ready. And
Mm.
yeah, and so that just came to mind. It's like, yeah, that faith. I
Childlike
trust you.
faith.
I don't
Yeah.
know how you're going to catch me. I don't know
Mm.
how you have this planned. I know it's going to work out because I trust you. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's just a fantastic example.
Well, let's
Um,
uh let's do that. Let's just all commit to do that for the rest of this week. And then we'll talk about it more Saturday and Sunday.
yeah.
Things that are coming up the other. So we've got October 25th in Fargo. We're all set. We know things are happening there.
Yep.
Now, not to be outdone, and this isn't a competition, but Bismarck did have to step up. Now we have Sue has taken over overseeing the food, and we're still working out what her title
Are
is. I know,
we?
well, I didn't get the one that the back row settled into on Sunday. And there was discussion because Sue, there's the culinary queen,
Yep.
there's the
The potluck princess.
potluck princess because she's
Yeah.
overseeing these things, and then the one that came up Sunday. This has been added to the
I love this
ballot.
one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Drill sergeant.
The grill sergeant. And the problem is though, Sue's first response upon hearing that was, "I don't grill."
I don't grill.
So
I
yeah.
know, I know, I know,
So
I
maybe if you
know.
were to buy her those fake teeth that have all silver, and she could wear
The
those,
grill.
the grill,
Yeah.
yes.
You could say
Uh,
Sue on the front or food or something like
she
that.
could make that happen. Yeah,
Yeah, well, I'm sure she could.
yeah. So whatever the title, she's done a great job in promoting the
Yeah,
fact that on October 3rd, the third Sunday in October, whatever that date is
right.
Oktoberfest in
Yeah.
Bismarck. So our
Yeah.
potluck is all the German food that we've grown up with. We probably should rent some of those paddles because of all the
Oh, yeah.
Word Start Your Heart.
Defibrillator.
Yeah, because there's gonna be a lot of grease, a lot
You
of
think
all
you
the
think we're
good.
gonna have people on the floor? All right.
Yeah, I think we might want to look into that. Although
Okay.
at least a couple nurses that attend, so I think we should be okay.
Okay. Well,
And then
we'll get
yeah,
them both there for sure.
we've got that, and then also two times in Bismarck we're gonna have food this time because we've moved up our chili cook-off to that next Sunday. So it's happening Saturday the 25th in Fargo, and then
Okay.
Sunday the 26th in Bismarck. And I know there's
Yeah.
a lot of people that'll be at both. So good luck, everybody. We should stock up on bathroom essentials at home because yeah, just make
Right.
sure you're taken care of. Bring the Rolaids. That would be a good thing to bring both weekends, probably. But so I'm excited because we've got these opportunities coming up to bring people in. Oktoberfest, for sure, people will come.
Oh
Chili
yeah.
competitions. Uh, I don't. I guess it hasn't been said for sure, but you don't have to be a formal member of the church to participate.
No, not at all.
Maybe there's somebody that thinks their chili is really good and looking for an excuse to come to church. Uh,
Yeah.
that'd be a good opportunity to do it. So,
Yeah.
all right.
And
Well,
you,
we've covered a lot of
you
good.
said it's not a competition,
It's
but it is a
that's a
competition.
competition. That one is. I mean, there's a really nice 3D printed uh, uh, award
Trophy.
trophy
Yeah.
that's being
Yeah.
sent to the winners. So, all good things. We've done some good things. We talked about a lot of good stuff,
Yeah.
things that are happening. Anything else coming up that we should be preparing for? I think because of what's happening this month, I feel like we're really focused in on where we're at, and it's a good place to be.
It is. And I actually we do have some and I'm just gonna plant a bug.
Ooh,
We won't talk about it too much maybe right now, but down the road, we are going to start in Fargo, and the debate lines are open as to whether this would be something that we could do in Bismarck as well. We're going to start because we were talking about our circle of influence, and coming from the band world,
hmm
I have a lot of, and my wife has a lot of, and actually most of the people in our worship team in Fargo have a lot of band friends. And if you play in bands, anyone that can do simple math knows you get home about 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the
hmm
morning. So to get up for a 10 o'clock service, I mean, that's a lot to ask. So, and I understand that. So what we're going to start doing once a month, and we don't, by October 25th, I will know the date,
Okay.
but we're going to once a month start doing a Sunday evening service
Hmm.
and bringing in guest musicians and focusing maybe a little more on music than we do on a morning service. And there's been talk of maybe a shorter message, something like
Uh-huh.
that, but that's heresy. You know, we all know that. So yeah, it's just going to be like a music focused service, church service.
All right.
So yeah, really excited
Interesting.
about that. And I said we weren't going to talk about it much, but I did.
That wasn't much. We've done more much
Well,
on other
that's true.
things.
We've done a
Yeah.
lot more on a lot less. So yeah,
And so yeah, I like the idea. That sounds fantastic in Fargo and Bismarck. If there's interest and figuring out times and evenings and how frequent it would be. Now, one thing I'm going to put out there, if we're putting bugs, I would
yeah,
love a gospel themed music session sometime.
yeah,
I
yeah.
love the old gospel music,
Yep.
and if we're gonna if we're planting bugs, that's mine that I want to plant. So
Okay. All
we've
right.
done
There's
our
a couple
all
bugs
right.
now. So
We've done our planting, and we're ready ready to move on. Any final thoughts as we wind down this evening?
yes, final thoughts, and it has to do with the third of our core beliefs, missional. So I would like people to, and we kind of Marissa mentioned it in Bismarck,
Hmm.
and I forget. Amy mentioned it in Fargo, and they both did a fantastic job of explaining it. We do need, as we grow, we do need people in our church, and we're going to again talk about this weekend to help support the mission of the church. And that can be done a lot of different ways. That can be volunteering, physical volunteering, you know, through giving, monetary, sacrificially giving to keep lights on and so on and so forth. Because we rent, everybody knows
Hmm.
that. So there's monthly costs, and there's also praying for our church. And I didn't want to put that one third, but it should be first. We should all be praying for the church's mission, our church or the big umbrella under Christian church. So what I'd really like people to do this week, I often say, you know, a sober assessment of yourself, but I would like people to really look at uh, if I'm a member of this family, which if you come through those doors,
Mm,
you're a member of our family. How do I move from spectator to, you know, servant?
mm,
And what is it that's needed? And true servants, right, say, here's my skills, it put me to work, you know. So that's what I'd really like people to do, is just give a sober assessment of, am I a spectator? Am I serving my church, and am I serving the mission? Am I being missional?
mm.
And yeah, because we can use all hands on deck, you know, right?
Awesome. Nope, that's a great way to wrap up, and some good things to think about, especially as we come into a message about that. So taking the
Mhm.
time between watching this and sharing it with others so they can watch and think about it, and then coming into the message with that in mind, so that
Yeah.
what you're talking about gets to that deeper level, like we're peeling
Right.
peeling
Right.
those layers of the onion away, right?
Yeah.
And finding ways that we can be of service. That's what it's all about. All right.
Awesome.
Well, we will see everybody very soon. Looking forward to the big open house, October 25th. Let's get our
Fun.
calendars marked, and we'll see everybody then. In the meantime, God bless. We'll see you soon.